Hey guys, welcome back to King Creek. Last week you saw me plant a bunch of sunflower seeds, and this week I came out here to check on them and almost all of them got eaten by birds. So I'm going to replant those today. This is going to be just a realistic morning in the life on a homestead. It's currently sprinkling, not ideal, but we got to get this done. I got some weeding to do, so let's do it. I have so many things in my garden that are getting ready to harvest, so I thought I would show y'all that before we jump into the sunflowers. Here are my cherry tomatoes, and then here are my regular tomatoes that are also getting ripe. I've got lots of green beans. They're on this trellis. We planted pole beans this year. And then look at these pumpkins. There are a lot of pumpkins in this little patch. I've picked a ton of bell peppers already this year, but there are plenty of more to pick. These are my pinto beans. I'm letting them dry on the plant. And then these are my purple whole peas, and look how beautiful these are. Just all the arrays of colors in them. And last are these black diamond watermelons. I can't wait for these. I decided to plant my new sunflower seeds in seed starting trays this time, so I needed to mix up some Miracle-Gro here in my watering can because I had some soil that needed to be rehydrated. I dumped all of the soil from this pot and these trays into this container, and then I just filled it up with that Miracle-Gro water and mixed it around so that way it was rehydrated. If you've ever used potting soil that has sat out for a while, you may notice that it's hydrophobic, meaning that it won't absorb water when you try to water the plant. So it's good to do this before you try to use that soil again. Filling each of these individual seed cells is actually kind of time consuming, but I wasn't sure exactly how many sunflower seeds I had, so I went ahead and filled all the trays up. I'm the worst about not labeling our seed starting trays, so I'm trying to do better at that. I'm going to be planting 3 varieties of sunflowers. They'll be Mammoths, Pikes Peak, and Fun in the Sun. Pikes Peak and Mammoths are going to be tall, so the Mammoth I think gets 12 foot tall, and Pikes Peak should be 15 feet tall. And then the Fun and Sun one is just like a fun little variety pack of ones that are orange and dark red and kind of more of a fall blend of colors. I actually had more sunflower seeds than I needed for all of these trays, so I just direct sowed the ones that were left over, and if the birds eat them, so be it, but I thought I'd at least give them a chance. I've had this pinwheel in my flower garden, and now that those are big, I decided to move it over here, and so maybe that'll keep the birds away. I'm keeping the seed starting trays up on the porch because I will remember to water them here, and they get a lot of good sun while still being protected from the birds. I decided to walk down to this little area of our property because it's normally too wet, but Stetson was able to mow it yesterday, and it's just a pretty little view of the house. I also walked out to the flower garden and checked on those. And y'all are probably tired of seeing my flower garden, but it just makes me so happy. Then Georgia woke up from her nap, so she ate a little lunch, and then I went ahead and cooked dinner for tonight. Those are bell peppers out of our garden, just gonna have stuffed bell peppers. She's my little helper these days, and she's obsessed with looking at her reflection. While Georgia was up from her nap, I cleaned out the refrigerator, and then once she went back to sleep, I came out here to the chicken coop and threw them some leftovers. Then I went out to the garden to work on weeding and remulching some of the rows. The dogs kept barking at something in the woods behind me, so I made Bella come lay next to me. Usually I collect all the weeds and take them to the chicken coop because they enjoy scratching around in some fresh grass, but it was so hot that I ended up just filling this wheelbarrow with them, and I dumped them on the burn pile that is right next to the garden. This mulch pile has seen better days. It's got a lot of grass growing up in it, but I am determined to use every little bit that's left. So here I am raking it. I tried to use the pitchfork, but it was getting caught in the weeds, so I resorted to just using my hands. I was really determined to get at least one of these rows weeded and mulched today, and I need to get out here and do this every day this week because we are getting family photos taken on our homestead this weekend, and I want everything to just look nice for that. You can probably tell that I am dragging by this point. It is so hot and I'm tired. I hadn't eaten lunch yet, but I was really trying to push through. Here's the row I finished today and the row I did yesterday. It doesn't look like I did a lot, but there were a ton of weeds and I'm really happy with the progress I made. I finished just in time for Georgia to wake up from her second nap. We went outside and we picked some fresh flowers to go in my vases. I'll pick a lot more of these next week. There's some really pretty ones, but I'm trying to leave them for our family photos so we can have a really pretty backdrop. But next week, I'm going to pick a huge bouquet of these. Are those yours? I had time to throw together these blueberry muffins from blueberries that my grandfather grew, and then we ate dinner, those stuffed bell peppers I made earlier in the day. Stetson's home now. He said he loved this meal. The muffins were too hot to hold, and this is him trying to eat it with no hands. After dinner, he went outside and weed eated. He mowed yesterday when he got home from work. So this is a pretty typical night on our homestead. He'll come home and work on a project outside. All right, guys, I think that's going to be all for today's video. Stetson's wrapping up his weed eating, and I just got Georgia down for bed. I may pick a few things in the garden, and I think we're both going to head inside. Thanks for sticking around for a full day of homesteading with me. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more from King Creek, and we'll see you in the next one.